Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of this game development diary for Pedro's adventure. Now, I think it's probably been a month to the day since my last video, so I have been working away at the game a fair bit. I think the last time I left you, I was showing you around the dungeon and the dungeon random generation and how that's done. And I said I was going to work on the inventory system, and that's what I've been doing, and it's taken me about the whole month pretty much to get it into the state that it's in at the minute, and I'm pretty happy enough with how it's gone. It took a lot longer than I expected. I knew it was going to be quite difficult to do, and first thing you probably notice is that who's this guy? Well, it is Pedro. He looks fairly different, and hopefully you will be able to discover why. So I'll open up the inventory now for you. We can go through it and kind of show you what it does, how it works. So you should notice this button, which is new, and if we press it, then this comes up, and this is our inventory system as it stands. So we have our kind of like stat categories here, so max health, strength, armor, luck, weapon, which is weapon damage, elemental, which is elemental damage, skill, which will be like things like the bow, and anything else I decided to put in there. Its damage, spell will be the spell damage, your experience, and then what level you're at. And here we have our item groups. So we have weapons, we have shields, we have armor, cloaks, bows, arrows, helmets, and we're back to weapons. We have our equip button, and then we have, well, I think I just missed this side, so we have our stats here for what each of these are, and then we've got our description box that tells us what we're looking at, and we're looking at our wooden dagger, and our wooden dagger has the effect of weapon 5. So I'll close this out and stop the Unity game player, and we'll put, at the minute it's on the iPhone resolution, so I'll put it to iPad just because it's a bit bigger and a bit easier for everybody to see, and we'll show you that the inventory system's kind of scales. Oops, I think I'm actually cutting a bit off the side in the video. Oh well, it's nothing too important, but you can see it sort of scales with the resolution of the screen, and it's because it's working off Unity's GUI system. So here the blue background is a GUI texture, same with this here. This is GUI text, GUI text here for this as well, and then these arrows here are GUI buttons, and these are GUI textures. Need to fix out just quite the placement of the text. I actually think I might squeeze it a bit together. It looks a bit spaced out at the minute on the iPad, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe try and get some feedback off people, see what they think. And kind of happy enough that it scales between normal old resolution iPhones and iPads, so not the Retina displays, but it shouldn't be too much work to get the display for the Retina devices, and also then for Android devices, and whatever the new iPhone 6 and new iPad that are coming out probably this month, so hopefully it'll scale for them too. So one bit that I haven't showed you yet is what happens when you hit these buttons here to look through the weapons or whatever item category you're looking at. So if we hit left, then we see we're now looking at the iron dagger, and we can see its effect on the stats as well. So there's a GUI text game object here that calculates the effect that equipping the current item will have. So we look at the steel dagger. Steel dagger's weapon's 15, and at the minute we just got the wooden dagger, and so it's telling you if we equip the steel dagger, it will increase our weapon by 10. If we look at the wooden sword, then by 13, iron sword by 20, steel sword. Then gold sword, just to mess it up and show you that it does the weapons can have more than one effect. We've randomly put strength as 387, so it'll increase our strength by that value. So that's our best weapon at the minute, because if we go back to start, we're back at the wooden dagger. So we'll go back over to the gold sword and equip it. Then if we have a look at Pedro, you notice that he's no longer holding the wooden dagger, he's holding the golden sword. So we'll look through some of the other categories here. So at the minute, his helmet, he's got no helmets on. So we have a leather helm, hardened helm, horned leather, iron helm, and then back to nothing. So if we equip the leather helm and have a look, you can see that he's now wearing a hat, and it looks pretty cool. Actually, my favourite is the horned helm, so we'll stick him with the horned helm, even though it's not as good as the iron helm. I think it looks better, so we'll stick him with that. And there you go, he's wearing the horned iron helmet. So the arrows kind of they kind of like add to the skill damage for the bow. So haven't got that linked up properly yet. Changing the armor values. So I must have mixed up the skill and armor. Oh, that's a bug to remember anyway. And then the bows have different ranges and have different values for skill. We also have cloaks, so he's not wearing a cloak at the minute. So if we equip him with a cape or the other cloak offers some more armor than the cape, so we'll equip that and have a look. Pedro's now wearing the cape, and I think the last category that I haven't shown you is I haven't looked at armor. So he's just wearing clothes at the minute. We have leather armor, hardened leather, and studded leather. And then we're back to clothes. So the best armor is the studded leather, so we'll equip that. And we'll have a look at him, and you can see he's wearing the studded leather. And then the last category is shields that we haven't looked at, so we'll equip the small wooden shield, and you can see him that he's kitted up for an adventure now. So quite got a lot going on there in the inventory system. You've got the stats, you've got the buttons, the icons, and then the actual what they mean for what Pedro's wearing. So kind of happy with how it turned out. I think it needs probably a bit more work. Obviously there's a bit of a bug there with the bow and arrows equipping. They were equipping the armor rather than the skill, so that needs fixed. Thankfully just noticed that there now. And then also what they mean for Pedro, so that was quite a lot of work. So that's why it took the guts of 4 weeks. I don't think I need to go, well, I can go into a bit more. It's pretty trivial to add in extra categories or extra weapons. What it is that there's a list, and for the weapons, then the first go to the wooden dagger. There is a function called Get Swords, and Get Swords has all the weapons. What I've called it Get Swords is probably silly, because there's going to be more than just swords. There's going to be axes and maces and who knows what else. So, but the function is called Get Swords, and then the first in that is the first element in that is it adds the wooden dagger to the list, and you can tell the list how long to be according to how many swords and things you find. So if you've only found one weapon, then you only have the wooden dagger, but if you find the next weapon, then the list will be 2 things long, and I'll have the wooden dagger and the iron dagger. So it loops around the function how many times according to how many items you find for that category, if that makes sense. So all you need to do then to add in another weapon, so if I wanted to add in a broadsword or a great sword or something like a magical sword, then all I have to do then is increase the list length by 1 and then create the stats for the sword along with what it's going to write down in this box and also what it looks like in this icon, and then that's it. So it's just a matter of remembering, make the list longer, tell it what's actually the sword, the stats of the sword, and get the icon for the sword, and that's pretty easy to do. So it's pretty easy to make these lists bigger for finding more items. And also then I'll probably have like a spell category up here, maybe even potions and things like that. So when I come to introduce that, it's pretty simple as well. It just means a matter of increasing the item list again by 1 and creating a new, rather than get arrows or get helmet or get, well, should have called it get weapons, but get sword function, we'll have a get potions function, and then it'll just be another list, and then depending on how many items are in that, then it can show. The maths behind making sure that these lists show appropriately, there's a few tricks and things like that, because if you start at the end of the list, then you want, which is the gold sword, then you want to show the first in the list. If you start at the first in the list, then you want to show the last. So there's, but if you're halfway through the list, then you just want to show the one before and the one after. And so if we equip the iron dagger, then you close it and open it, it'll still display the iron dagger, so it remembers what one you've equipped, and then it'll show you what the difference is in the stats here. I think that's about it for describing the inventory rather quickly, its functionality, how it makes Pedro look. So yeah, sorry it took so long to get a video up, but it just took that long to code it up in my spare time. So a wee bit behind where I thought I would be for this game. The making the inventory probably took 2 weeks longer than I thought it would take. But I'm pretty happy how it turned out, and I'll be able to tidy it up a wee bit. Down here there's going to be, I haven't got it in yet, how much gold you have, so going to be another GUI texture and show you how much gold you have. So I think the main kind of things to get done relatively soon is kind of hunt through all the bugs with this system, and get that gold up, and then work out how the damage is going to be applied, because we've got armor here, and the amount of armor you have is going to defend against either the armor's going to defend you from obviously the damage that you're going to take. And damage you're going to take is going to be worked out by your strength value. Damage is going to be worked out by the strength value and the weapon value, or if it's an elemental or skill. So I need to work out quite what armor is going to save you against. So I think strength damage is always going to be done, and then armor will save you against weapon and elemental, and same for how you deal with enemies. So some enemies might be very heavily armored, so the weapon damage won't do too much, but if you're really strong, then that'll help. So different weapons will be better for different enemies. Maybe armor will or won't help elemental attacks, I'm not quite sure. how to work that yet, but I'll keep it in mind because there might be a label here to say quite what the elemental attack is, and maybe change the colour of it to show if it's fire or ice or whatever. And then also work out the experience and levels. So if Pedro goes up a level, and obviously gets more health, more strength, maybe more luck. So yeah, happy enough with that. How it's turned out still needs a bit more work, and I've got some more feedback for the part of the game that I've put out for people to play. If you want to give that a go, the link's in the description. So going to rework the forest a wee bit, and also bits about the house, just kind of tighten that part of the game up. Think make it a bit more user friendly and keep people interested in it. I think the forest's a wee bit too big, so people kind of get lost in it. I don't really want that to happen at the start of the game. I want people to be entertained and still wanting to play more of the game rather than just get frustrated with it. So quite a lot to do still, but hopefully now that kind of the big part of getting the inventory done, that's out of the way. So hopefully again these updates will be almost weekly now, hopefully again. Just didn't like showing the inventory system there, only half done. Wanted to get more of it sorted out, so hopefully in the next update we'll see tidying up of this system, and then I think probably just to have a bit of fun we'll create the enemies and the enemy damage system for this dungeon, and then take it from there. So as always, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, please leave that in the comments section below. Appreciate any feedback you can give, so please do drop me a comment. As always, thanks for watching, and catch you next time.